I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
If there's one thing every car guy hates, it's cleaning the garage. Do you want to take most of the time and hassle out of that job? Then call Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Agnes and her crew will have your garage, shop, basement, or even your porch looking great all the time. With unique patterns and designs, plus the ability to incorporate your logo or any artwork, your space will never have looked better. Installation is done in 1 day, guaranteed, and Zone Garage offers a 20-year warranty on the top coat. Their coatings are durable, anti-slipped, and impact resistant. Give them a call at 570-856-6067. That's 570-856-6067 for Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
The tit, the most unassuming of bird species. The tit is from a large family of small passerine birds which mainly occur in the northern hemisphere. Members of this family are commonly referred to as tits throughout much of the English-speaking world. These birds are mainly small, stocky, woodland species. Some have crests or beards. Just like another animal, the Alba commune pine, they range from 4 to 8 inches. Many species live around human habitation and come readily for nuts or seed, and learn to take other foods. This message was presented by the DeWeather Institute for Climate Knowledge. The DeWeather Cares Knights Tits Kickball Tournament is coming this October and benefits 4 cancer-related charities. See DeWeather Center on Facebook for more information. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Texas Motor Speedway. No Limits, Texas, where tonight the High Slide Cup Series will crown their champion. My name is Chris Graham with the National Racing Network. It is a pleasure to have you joining us here this evening. 151 laps will be the distance. Joined, as always, in the booth and on the racetrack tonight by Mr. James Watson. He will be doing some color commentary while competing in tonight's event. Good evening, James. How are you, sir?
I'm good and kind of excited. This is going to be areas that no driver commentator has ever been before. I'm going to be wheeling this thing and talking about myself wheeling this thing at the same time.
Yeah, we will let you get up kind of into the general here so you can communicate with the other drivers and whatnot. But what are your thoughts here? 151 laps is a very long race at Texas, and a whole lot can happen in that time span.
Yeah, it's the way 1 and 2 is. It definitely lends itself to chaos. You know, we saw it back a couple years ago. With what ultimately cost Kevin Harvick a shot at the Cup. Granted, that was rain, but it goes to show you how difficult 1 and 2 is. And if you're not careful, it will bite you out of nowhere. You think you're just going through the corner all fine and dandy, and that's next thing you know, bam, wall.
Yeah, the reconfiguration that took place here saw turns 1 and 2 flattened out more like Michigan or California. Very wide, little bit shallower banking than what we see in turns 3 and 4. No reprofiling was done at that end of the speedway, so that's going to be more 24-degree banking, that prototypical 1.5 mile oval, very much in the model of Charlotte Motor Speedway. As we got to look at Peter Hodgson, the PD Pop Maniacs. Time for them to lose their minds here. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Thank you, everybody, for checking in here this evening. We appreciate y'all hanging out. Mike Aiello going to be at the top of the speed charts, 29.53 seconds. We'll show you the best lap times here in qualifying. You get to see them all pop up on the top left-hand corner of your screen as the drivers set those quick laps. Hodgson going to be fifth quick, 29.792. Let's get a look at your new High Slide Cup Series champion, Wendell Elliott, in the number 4. One of the Performance Sim Sport entries. Metrolina carts on the side of that number 4 Ford Mustang. Wendell going into this evening with a 20-point lead over Alan Martin. And with only 12 drivers scheduled to take the green flag here tonight, that point lead is insurmountable. So congratulations to Wendell Elliott here. Let's see. Doesn't look like we have Wendell available for an interview here.
That's okay. We'll interview him after the race. Hopefully he's getting plastered, celebrating Brad Keselowski style.
Yes, that's the fun part here. Let's pick up Evan Kelsey. Very, very slow on the warm-up lane. This is one of the qualifying tricks that you see on the iRacing platform. You're basically going to go very slow, dragging the brakes. That'll get some temperature up in the tires. Then you drop the hammer on the way onto the back straightaway. Here's the 51 of Darrell Rector making his way off of turn 4 and down the front stretch. How about James Watson finishing the qualifying run? Going to be third quick. 29.602 seconds. 29.602 for Mr. Watson.
That guy's certainly overachieving.
Yes, significantly. Let's get you a look here at the weather conditions tonight, presented by our friends at the Weather Center. Offensively accurate weather information for Eastern Pennsylvania, and quite frankly, the country here. They are in the middle of collecting donations to support the relief efforts going on for the folks that are going to be affected and victimized by Hurricane Ida that is absolutely demolishing Louisiana right now. Shoot us a message here in the comments, DM any of our social channels. We can hook you up and tell you how you can get some gear sent down there to the Weather Center. They are fundraising not only cash, but also doing donations of pet food, baby supplies, baby formula, feminine hygiene products, all the stuff that people tend to think about that you really need to have in the aftermath of these things. Weather tonight, 71-degree ambient temperature. Wind's going to be out of the south at 12 miles an hour. Track temperature, 73 degrees. Pretty darn good conditions here, Mr. Watson, as field's going to get a whole lot of grip out of those Goodyear Racing Eagles here this evening.
Yeah, it feels good. It really feels good. It's definitely going to be a great race. And with said it before and say it again, with the packed nature of this still in race car rules package. God, we're gonna be stuck together. We're not gonna be able to scratch our butts without the rest of the pack like 4 rows deep behind us. So that and the grip, this is gonna be nuts, and I'm already scared.
Seeing our buddy Chad Irvine checking in the comments on Twitch saying, "Hi, Chris." Hello, Chad. No, you cannot have a black flag clear. Jeremy Gibbs checking in on YouTube. Congratulations, Wendell. Good luck to the rest of my fellow competitors, and great job for an awesome season. Sorry I'm not going to make the last race. I wish you were out here, bud, but hopefully you will enjoy the telecast here this evening as we follow along with Cody Henderson. About 2 minutes left on the clock. Garrett Velzy, Nick Lockard also have not taken time yet. First lap for Henderson. Going to be 8th quick, 29.740 seconds. We are expecting a pretty sizable pickup here on lap number 2. Henderson going to come across the line. He'll jump up to 3rd quick, 29.470. 29.470 seconds for Cody Henderson. Still going to be Mike Aiello on the front row for this one, at least on the provisional pole position. Nick Lockard in the Lockard.it, number 10. See if we can't sneak in a quick word here with Mike Aiello. And Mike, it looks like, Nick Lockard is no slouch here. He's definitely going to have a shot to take you off the top spot. But congratulations on a spectacular lap here and quite possibly a High Slide Cup Series pole award.
Well, thank you very much. I don't know, it's just going out there and actually just tried to do the best I could, but not overdrive the car. So I ran a 4-something in practice several times, just doing some practice qualifying runs. So figured I could hit the 4s, and I did. Surprised I beat Wendell by, 6 thousandths of a second or so. We'll see what Nick has in store, but wherever we finish, it's not about the fastest lap. It's about who finishes first takes the checker. So I ran a long run, ran 40-plus laps earlier, so I got a good idea of what the car is going to do. Hopefully with 12 clean drivers here tonight, we'll get a couple green flag pit stops and some long runs.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping to see anyway. So like we say, congratulations on the quick lap here, and give them hell out there tonight.
Thank you very much, and hopefully talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Taking a look at the schedule here so we can tell you what's going on and when. Stage number 1 tonight will conclude at lap number 50, and we will see a caution flag there. Stage number 2 going to end at lap number 100. And that will be without a caution flag. One of the bits of strategy will be to see where drivers are going to be able to, how far they're going to be able to go before they have to take tires and fuel. That one will be important as the race develops. Seeing Jocko De Bruin checking in on YouTube. Evan Kelsey win this. Carmen Thomas showing a little bit of love for Cody Henderson from the fine state of Iowa. Absolutely love my Hawkeyes. Actually lived out there for quite a while. Not sure where you folks are from, but beautiful little towns of Urbandale and West Des Moines, Iowa, just outside of the capital city of Des Moines.
I've been broadcasting with you for months, and I never knew any of that.
Little known part of my life. You know what? The people out there are some of the nicest people on the planet. I absolutely love folks from the Midwest. Shattuck37 checking in on Twitch, saying, James Watson is my hero. I'm sorry. Woo! I am very, very sorry that's the best you can come up with for a hero. Field going to get ready to grid up here. He's over here having a stroke or something.
You love to see it. You love to see it.
Get you look from high atop Texas Motor Speedway. Mike Aiello will be your pole award winner here this evening. And here is tonight's 12 car starting grid. Mike Aiello and new champion Wendell Elliott going to occupy row number 1. Cody Henderson and Evan Kelsey on row number 2. Nick Lockard, James Watson on row 3. 0.2 of a second back to Derek Grigsby in 7th, who will line up alongside Darrell Rector in the 8th position. Row number 5 will have Taylor Toller and Alan Martin. Peter Hodgson, Garrett Velzy will occupy the final row here this evening. Love the comments that are coming in here. If you're enjoying this, give the video a like and a share. Helps us out with the algorithms on YouTube. And thank you very much for the sweet, sweet watch time. The longer you hang out with us, the better this stuff's going to do. Derek Grigsby checking in saying, "Go Derek Grigsby." Well, thank you very much. Appreciate you having the broadcast tuned in here. Jeremy Gibbs getting a laugh out of things. And Alda Hernandez, good luck, Peter. Hashtag Petey Pop Maniac Fab. Yes, the Petey Pop Maniacs in full force here this evening. Just waiting on the aforementioned Mr. Hodgson to get out onto the grid. He is there. What a beautiful shot. 12 NASCAR Cup Series cars lined up on the pit lane here at Texas Motor Speedway.
It's not beautiful when we start to pull away.
Take a look here. Show you the onboard view from our commentary partner here this evening, Mr. James Watson. You can see the banking here. It's still fairly steep in turns 1 and 2, and then you really get pitched over on the side in turns 3 and 4. Field will make their way down the back straightaway behind the iRacing safety car. And James Watson going to be giving away state secrets to us here this evening. Giving us an idea of what we're looking at in terms of fuel numbers, tire wear throughout the evening. That will be interesting to hear the... We'll kind of talk through the strategy here as we go this evening. Pace car going to make its way off of turn number 4. Go ahead, James.
As soon as I figure out what the strategy is, you'll be the first to know.
Yes. That's fantastic. Absolutely clueless on the outside of row 3. Green flags in the air, and as always, race fans, the start of this one going to be all yours. Lap number 1 going to go up on the scoreboard, and it will belong to Mike Aiello. He's going to have Cody Henderson looking to his outside through turn 1. Nick Lockard holding down the inside along with Wendell Elliott and Derek Grigsby. Now Lockard going to slide high off the exit of 2, get in behind Henderson, give a little bit of drafting help down the back stretch into turn number 3. Side-by-side battle for the race lead will continue. Almost a little bit of contact off the corner. Oh, James Watson bounces it off the outside wall back in the pack.
It's fine. Everything's fine. We're okay.
Put a Darlington stripe on the side of that one early on here as this side-by-side battle for the race lead continues. Henderson, fastest lap of the race last time by 29.73. He'll have a slight advantage on the entrance to the corner. Aiello fighting back on the inside.
Garrett Velzy a little loose in front of me. Caught the apron, but we're all good. A little bit of a butt pucker, though. I'm not going to lie.
Taylor Toller, new quickest lap, 29.64. Already fastest lap, about 0.2 off of what we saw in qualifications. That number may drop a little bit as we get into the run, but we're going to see the time start to fall off pretty darn quickly here as tire wear becomes an issue at this reconfigured Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, the dirty air is going to start to wreak havoc on it, especially in 1 and 2. You have to put so much wheel into it and be off throttle so much that you're just sliding the right front coming out of 2 and hoping you don't put it in the wall. 3 and 4, it's never been much of an issue. You have the higher banking. It just helps wash you through the corner so easily. I am nowhere near putting as much steering input in through here as I am through 1 and 2. But yeah, like I said, 1 and 2 is definitely going to be the trouble area in a lot of ways.
Mike Aiello able to clear Cody Henderson. That battle for the race lead will settle down as Wendell Elliott going to look to get to the inside of Nick Lockard down the back straightaway. Not close enough to try to force the door open. We stay single file. Lap number 6 of 50 here in stage number 1, and 151 overall up on the scoreboard.
Everything's fairly tame so far. I don't know if it's because we have a smaller grid than usual, but this is much more tame and straightforward than we've seen at most other mile-and-a-halves this season.
Yeah, the mile-and-a-halves have sort of felt like either it's a wreck fest early on and then we get a very long run, or the inverse of that happens and you go almost caution-free or completely caution-free through the first stage, completely caution-free through stage number 2, and then you're going to go right back to wadding cars up late in the race trying to fight for a race win and those final positions here late in the race. Slide back in the pack a little bit here. Pick up Garrett Velzy as he's going to take a peek on Peter Hodgson. Velzy down to the inside. Hodgson going to keep it wound up through 3 and 4 on the high side of the racetrack. Velzy gets a little bit of a push, almost caught the safer barrier on the exit of the corner.
Yeah, him and Petey came real close. I was a little nerve-wracking to watch.
Alan Martin coming around James Watson. And James, how was the car handling after that early contact with the outside wall?
Not great.
Drivers do have one backup car available this evening, so first pit stop. Oh, big contact! They're both into the grass. What a save! Hodgson and Velzy both gonna save it. Oh my goodness!
A lot of poo just shot out right now.
iRacing Top 10 nominee. Get you the Hot Shoe Racewear Instant Replay. Take a look from overhead. Hodgson makes contact with the outside wall. Both cars down into the grass. Hodgson gets back into the grass on the other end of the tri-oval. Keep your foot in it. Give it a ride. Well done.
I tell you, Petey Pop creased it right there. Oh, no. Oh, he's struggling.
Get you back to the live look here. All 4 of these cars now going to be bottled up at the back of the pack. Slide up towards the front of the field here is Cody Henderson. Going to have Wendell Elliott looking to the inside. Elliott wants to close a championship run with a victory here this evening. Taylor Toller going to be down to his inside. Lap times falling off significantly here. Best lap time for Nick Lockard, your race leader.
Whoa, this is interesting. Race leader in the pits.
29.71. Yeah, Mike Aiello already down into the pit lane here. Get you a look at that car as he heads down into the pit area. We'll see. Could this possibly be a scheduled stop?
I mean, I don't think we're going to be able to get to the end of the stage on one tank of gas, but it's risky. If a caution comes out, which it's almost has a few times, he is going to be in a bit of a world of hurt. I mean, he'll get the lucky dog, but it's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it works out.
And he won't have to pit. That's the other part of this. No tires, 6.53 seconds, time of the stop for Mike Aiello. Going to be scored 1 lap down here to the race leaders. Nick Lockard has a 1.1 second advantage over Wendell Elliott. There you see Lockard just disappearing out of the frame as they get onto the back straightaway. Taylor Toller thought about having a peek to the inside of Darrell Rector. Once again, everybody falls back in line. Big block by Toller on Evan Kelsey.
Man, that's a Bizzle I can see all the way from back here.
Darrell Rector holding it down to the inside of Cody Henderson. Taylor Toller fighting with Evan Kelsey. So we've seen the first bit of strategy here. James, do you have the fuel calculator open? And what's it telling you on the numbers here?
I'm looking at about 29 laps.
Oh, contact! Cody Henderson up into the outside wall. Way down to the inside. Another fantastic save early on. Sorry about that, James. Continue.
I'm looking at about 28 and a half laps to go, but bit of a more art than science this specific calculator, so I'm averaging maybe about 25, 26 laps left on fuel. When I'm going to make that stop, your guess is as good as mine, folks at home.
Well, I was going to say, so it looks like we're talking then probably 40 to 45 laps on a tank of fuel. That's going to put the stop at lap number 13 is going to get Mike Aiello right to the end of the stage. Peter Hodgson stopping at lap number 17. He's going to be able to make it just past the end of the stage as well. Hodgson, however, running all by his lonesome out here through turns 1 and 2. Both Mike Aiello and Peter Hodgson being scored 1 lap down to this man, race leader Nick Lockard. Now, it's more like a lap and a half that Peter Hodgson is down. Definitely interesting to see the split strategies, however. If everybody else is going to have to come down pit road at some point, the undercut definitely comes into play here. That is for sure.
Yeah, because given how fast Aiello passed me a little bit ago, it's clear that he's fast as hell. Come back for more hard-hitting commentary here.
Yes. The leader's fast. Yes, yes, he is. Cody Henderson making his way down pit road. Now, if you're only going to take enough fuel to make it to the end of the stage, these pit stops could start to get pretty darn short here. Flip side of the coin is pack it full of fuel, and then all you're doing is you're trying to get off of pit road as quickly as possible. So if you know that 2-tire stop is going to take you 13, 14 seconds, you want to make sure that you can get those 2 cans of fuel taken care of there pretty quickly as well. Here comes Peter Hodgson around to get past Cody Henderson. Now, here's where that undercut strategy can really benefit Mike Aiello. He's not running in traffic at this point, or at least not a ton of traffic anyway. he's going to have fairly clean air and should be able to click off some pretty fast laps. Last lap time, 31:17, kind of in the same bracket as what everybody else is running. Pick up Wendell Elliott running in the second position. He's going to have Derek Grigsby closing in through turn number 2. That is the closest fight on the racetrack. Let us know where you're watching from here. Check in the comments. We'll get them up on the screen here and say hello to everybody. Try to make these broadcasts as interactive as we possibly can here. Down to about 15 to go here until we should see the opening round of pit stops for drivers like Nick Lockard, Wendell Elliott, Derek Grigsby. Interesting is that Nick Lockard is a driver that we've seen throughout the season. He's tried to play the long game on fuel. That's most certainly not happening right now, running out at the head of the field.
Perhaps. We don't know how much throttle he's actually running now. He could very well be sitting at 3/4 or so, and we just can't really tell because Wendell himself is probably saving fuel too.
Yeah, I would imagine if you commit to the fuel save strategy fairly early on, I don't think you're necessarily going to get to lap number 50, but it could make it a splash and go with just a couple laps to go here at the end of the stage. Derek Grigsby having a peek to the inside of Wendell Elliott. Not going to do it that time off of turn number 4. The gap stays down at about 0.2 of a second. The other fight we have on the racetrack back here is Evan Kelsey and Darrell Rector. They've got the faster car of Mike Aiello just ahead of them. Rector using the high lanes through 3 and 4. Knocking on wood here, but caution free to this point in the race. Here comes Evan Kelsey down the pit road. Also Garrett Velzy. Velzy 14.63 seconds the time of the stop. Cody Henderson also taking tires when he was down on lap number 21.
Myself am pinning in.
There is James Watson in the number 39 making his way down pit road, trying to get that National Racing Network ZAS Designs machine woed up. Should be good. At least
Yes,
entering
sir.
without a speeding penalty. Looks like this one going to be a fuel-only stop here. And James, what's the thought process there? Are limited on tires and don't want to change them, or just don't want to give up the time?
A little bit of both. I'm struggling on my tires, but I'm going to need them for the longer runs. I'm just trying to survive to the stage break to get some of these optionals taken care of.
Battle for the lead starting to heat up here. Wendell Elliott getting in on the back bumper of Nick Lockard. Lap 34 now on the scoreboard, 33 complete. Which would theoretically mean 17 more laps to go here in stage number 1. That will bring us to the first caution flag of the race. Seeing Shelly Peters checking in. Driving the big truck in Nebraska. Can't watch, but I can listen. Thanks for the broadcast. Well, thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying the show, and we'll try to be a little bit more radio style in the commentary then. A little more descriptive, if you will. Gaps now down to a couple of sheets of paper. How about door bumper? We'll see if he's going to be clear. Yes, he is. Wendell Elliott out to be the new race leader. As we work lap number 36 coming around Nick Lockard. Lockard going to fight back to the inside. Both cars running within that outside straight lane all the way up against the outside safer barrier down the back straightaway. Little bit of a squeeze by Lockard forces Elliott to run a higher lane on entry into turn number 3. Both cars going to hold their lines cleanly off of 4. Drag race to the line, going to be Wendell Elliott that time by. This battle for the lead is staying pretty darn intense here. Elliott able to hold on to the position for now. Evan Kelsey going to come around Derek Grigsby, who was just getting off the pit lane. Garrett Velzy also coming around Grigsby. James, I would imagine, at least early in the stage, knowing you're going to get the stage break to come at a certain point, the undercut probably not the worst strategy to employ because you know when the caution's going to come out.
Exactly, and you're not putting a whole lot of laps on your tire. You're able to know how much you're going to need to undercut by and how much the other car can overcut you. And we've seen the overcut work wonders in several races this season.
Yeah, Jason Miz made me look absolutely dumb on the call several weeks ago, I guess, at this point.
Not me. Obligatory, I'm the only one that called that and called that it was going to.
So taking a look at our race leaders here, their pit out position could be as deep as 10th when they decide to come down pit road. However, they do have the lap advantage here. Alan Martin is in the pit lane. Cody Henderson getting around to the outside of Wendell Elliott. Elliott may be out of fuel, or at least very close to it.
Well, when you already brought home the hardware, you can make risky calls like that because, hey, who cares? You're already the champion.
Yeah, and he stayed out on the racetrack as well, so pretty big deal that Cody Henderson has managed to organically unlap himself. What's really interesting, though, is the lap times. Wendell Elliott last time ran a 32:24. Garrett Velzy, Evan Kelsey, both in the 30-second ranges. Elliott going to make his way down pit road. Hot on the entry, but looks like he should be clean here. Wendell Elliott making his way down the pit road. here at lap number 43. This is right about in the window of what we figured these drivers could make. Elliott hits his box. Again, no tires this time. Down and away, 5.78 seconds for Wendell Elliott. Taylor Toller going to make his way down pit lane to the attention of the Home Depot crew on the number 20 machine. Nick Lockard staying out on the racetrack.
He is pitting this time. Lockard in this time.
There you go. James giving us the inside scoop here out of the voice chat from the drivers. Taylor Toller down and away, 15.2 seconds. By taking the tires now, you're only going to put a handful of laps on them before we get to the caution flag at the end of stage number 1. Lockard going to be down and away. We have a new race leader, and it's going to be Derek Grigsby. Lead of 1.5 seconds over now Darrell Rector, who's going to fight with Cody Henderson. That will be the battle for the runner-up position right now.
Major problems for PD Pop Nation. Unfortunately, he must have gotten to the wall again. He is now out of the race and out of the session.
Trouble for Peter Hodgson. He's going to pull it down to the infield here. And unfortunately, yeah, it looks like Hodgson just comes to a stop inside of turn number 3 and quickly has to bail out of here. So, tough break there for PD Pop Nation. Derek Grigsby continues to hold on to this lead over Darrell Rector, and the lead is almost 2.5 seconds as we're going to get down to the end of stage number 1. Just 3 to go here for Derek Grigsby. Evan Kelsey going to be battling with Cody Henderson. 9-lap newer tires for Evan Kelsey. He's going to look to the outside of Henderson and complete that pass with relative ease off of turn number 2. Going to drop Cody Henderson back to the 4th position. Mike Aiello battling with Garrett Velzy as we're down to 2 to go in stage number 1. Velzy going to be able to hold on to the position. So Mike Aiello was your race leader. Now going to be running in the 7th position after stopping all the way back at lap number 13. Off of turn number 4. 1 to go in stage number 1 for race leader Derek Grigsby. He has a 3-second lead over Darrell Rector, but that is not going to last for long, as we will see a caution flag here at the end of stage number 1. Darrell Rector holds on to 2nd. Evan Kelsey, Cody Henderson, Wendell Elliott, your top 5. Hugging that white line through the middle of 3 and 4, off the corner cleanly, green and white checkered in the air. Derek Grigsby claims the win in stage number 1 over Darrell Rector and Evan Kelsey. See if we can't get a quick word in here before we get packed up and onto pit road. Derek, congratulations on a big win there in stage number 1.
Thank you. Thank you.
How's the car feel out there? It looks pretty darn quick, and the strategy game seems to have played your way as well.
Yeah, definitely a strategy pull of trying to get the most out of that second set of tires I put on. But yeah, it's all right. Track's a little bit tight, so you just have to learn to manage your tires a little bit.
All right, Derek. Well, thank you very much here. We appreciate it, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
There you go. There's Derek Grigsby, your Stage 1 winner. Field is packed up behind the iRacing safety car, and we should see everybody make their way down pit road this time. With everybody on the lead lap, doesn't make any sense to try to play the strategy games at all. And there you go. All 11 cars on the racetrack making their way down pit road, led by Derek Grigsby. We'll follow along with the Solo Jazz number 42 as he's going to hit his pit box. Second place, Darrell Rector hits the box right behind them. Both crews around to the right-hand side. Jacks are down. Crew over to the left. Going to be 4 Goodyear Racing Eagles, 2 cans, Sunoco Fuel. Taylor Toller may win the race off a pit road here. He will. Derek Grigsby, Darrell Rector going to be second and third off the pit lane. Toller took tires on his first stop, so he goes fuel only here on stop number 2, 7.42 seconds. Time of the stop for Taylor Toller. Grigsby, Rector, Kelsey, and Henderson, your top 5 as they get off a pit lane. Seeing James Watson just getting back out onto the racetrack here. And James, was that just some optional damage repairs and no need for the backup car yet?
Nope, she's still driving good. Pretty good, at least. About as well as the car will be with me behind the wheel. But, yeah, just trying to make sure... get as close to 100 as I can and save the backup car for the inevitable mass chaos that's going to be coming at some point.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out here because a couple of cars have had some issues, but no major incidents to this point. Still, 11 cars on the lead lap. Only car out of the race going to be Peter Hodgson, who will finish in the 12th position here this evening. Should get the one to go signal next time by. Go ahead, James.
Take me through Grigsby sponsor again?
That is the Solo Jazz paint scheme. The coffee cup from the 1990s.
I love it.
Yeah. Yes.
Our good friend Chad Irvine has even designed me a scheme just like that for the PM18, which I've raced here before in a different league. I was murdered 5 laps into it and don't prefer not to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, that car does look good.
I wonder if it's anything like Freeform Jazz. People at home watching, if you know what I'm talking about, you're a legend. It's a SpongeBob reference, Graham, if you haven't figured that out.
You laugh like SpongeBob. Taylor Toller, Derek Grigsby can occupy road number 1 for the restart. As we see Wendell Elliott pull it down pit road. Not the worst call here. Get the thing topped back off with fuel. You're not going to lose a ton.
One thing's for sure. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to get lapped again. He doesn't even laugh.
Goodness.
He doesn't even laugh at my jokes anymore.
No. Grigsby and Toller are going to be on row number 1 for the restart. Toller and Aiello on row number 2. Excuse me. Actually, no. That's going to be... Yeah, we got some shuffling going on.
Yeah, with Wendell coming in right before it it sent us 2x2. It adjusted everyone up and therefore moved everyone to the other side. So I'm now the 10th car starting 5th row outside.
Yep, okay, so let's reset the field here. Toller and Grigsby going to occupy the front row. Going to be Darrell Rector, Evan Kelsey on row number 2. Mike Aiello, Cody Henderson on row 3. Garrett Velzy, Nick Lockard on row 4. Alan Martin, James Watson, row 5. Wendell Elliott at the back of the pack in the 11th position. iRacing safety car is going to make the hard left-hand turn, and yeah, what the heck, we'll do this one again. You folks at home, you go ahead. Let's give you a shot here to crank it up. Couple of laps in the books here in stage number 2. Lap number 58 will go up on the scoreboard, and it will be Derek Grigsby continuing to lead. Call it a 10th of a second, 10th and a half, almost 2 now, over Darrell Rector. Cody Henderson, Taylor Toller, Mike Aiello, your top 5. Wendell Elliott just set a new fastest lap of the race, 29:56. Getting into those qualifying lap territories here. We're going to see Taylor Toller and Evan Kelsey battle side by side off of 4.
Wendell is going in hardcore fuel save mode. He dropped like a rock on the initial restart. He's hanging up right behind us. He's got something cooking.
Yeah, Wendell Elliott has been very, very quick all season long. There's your top 4, single filed out, pulling away from that battle between Evan Kelsey and Taylor Toller. With some fuel saving, Wendell Elliott could make it to the end of stage number 2 on fuel without any with very minimal saving anyway. Everybody else only going to make it to about lap number 96. So we see Alan Martin going to work on Taylor Toller. Battle for second heating up here. Mike Aiello, Darrell Rector going to be side by side. Evan Kelsey, Cody Henderson going to make it a 4-car pack. All running there behind race leader Derek Grigsby.
Oh, get a camera shot on this.
Yeah, James Watson way to the inside, down around Taylor Toller and Alan Martin. 2 for 1 into turn number 3.
Woo!
Gut sack move there for James Watson.
Oh, she's driving good now. Let's go.
How about it? Get you the look from high overhead here. Big run off the corner for the 39. 3 wide into turn number 3. Makes that pass look easy. Darrell Rector, Nick Lockard battling side by side off of 4. Hey, does that help you drafting wise and gaining speed on those cars, or is it just the fighting itself that's slowing them down enough for you to get caught back up there, James?
Yeah, it adds a little more draft for you to work off of. Makes the hole in the air a lot bigger. Makes for bigger runs. So anytime you see cars ahead battling crazy like that, you always have a little bit of a smirk. Unless they end up in the wall, then it's usually a much more different facial expression.
Taylor Toller may be going into that same fuel save mode here.
Yeah, he's off the pace, and I haven't seen him get the wall, and I know he's a lot quicker than that, so he too has something up his sleeve.
Both Garrett Velzy and Taylor Toller in the 30.9 second bracket. 30.4 for race leader Derek Grigsby right now. Just a few laps shy of halfway here in stage number 2. 39 minutes going up on the scoreboard. This race is going by in a pretty good hurry. Grigsby holding on to that 0.8 of a second lead over Mike Aiello. The good battle just back behind them. Cody Henderson fighting with Nick Lockard. It's brought Darrell Rector and James Watson into the party. Rector going to slide up to the outside just a little bit, mid-corner through 1 and 2. Slots right back in line. Nick Lockard having a peek on the inside of Evan Kelsey. James Watson is right there on the back bumper of Darrell Rector.
Oh,
Cody Henderson's in that as well, too.
Let me tell you, the dirty air is no joke. When you are as close to a car as I am, you definitely start to feel it. This is not fun.
Sliding up in the field, Mike Aiello, Evan Kelsey, Nick Lockard, 2, 3, 4 on the racetrack. Interesting to see Aiello sort of shorten up the corner entry. Is that something that you can do as either a tire preservation method, or what could be going on there, James?
If by shortening up you mean taking a shallower entry, it's definitely to help save tires. That's exactly what I'm doing, and I feel a massive difference on also not only my tire life, but just my speed through the center of the corner and off a corner exit as it is. I think there may be more significant problems with the 20. He is a lap down now. Did he short pit?
Yes, he did. Taylor Toller coming in on lap number 71. That opens up the third pit stop window here. What's interesting to me there is even if he goes out to lap 115, yeah, he will make it to the finish on one more stop. So the window is open, and we saw Derek Grigsby make the early stop and benefit highly from that. The difference is there's no guarantee of the caution coming at lap number 100 like we saw at lap 50 for that first stage.
Yeah, this is where you just kind of take a look at your cards, see what you're dealt, and go from there. I'd start breaking into Kenny Rogers, but I'm afraid that gets DMCA'd, and plus, well, no one wants to hear that anyway, so...
Yeah, you and Paul Tracy, we don't want to hear you singing, that's for sure. Evan Kelsey down to the inside of Nick Lockard. Wendell Elliott down to the inside of Cody Henderson. 2x2 across the start-finish line. So we work lap number 77.
Oh my, we're starting to get a little bit of a hornet's nest brewing here.
Yeah, business definitely picking up here a little bit at Texas Motor Speedway. Third place, Nick Lockard. Back to eighth place, James Watson. Separated by about 1 second. There you see all 6 of those race cars making their way through your screen. And runner-up, Mike Aiello, is not very far ahead of these cars either. Elliott down to the inside of Cody Henderson.
Little brush to the wall for Darrell Rector. Aiello pitting in now.
There you go. Race leader Mike Aiello making his way down the pit road. This stop going to be at lap number 80. That would make the final stop more of a splash and dash. Crew finishes their work on the right side of the car. Going to get around to the left. It'll be 4 Goodyear Racing Eagles, 2 cans Sunoco fuel for Mike Aiello. He's down and away. 14.35 seconds. 14:35 time of the stop for Mike Aiello.
Evan Kelsey also coming in this lap.
Evan Kelsey making his way down the pit road, as is Darrell Rector. They're going to come in nose to tail. Kelsey going to hit his box. Crew goes around to the right-hand side of the car, goes up on the jacks. Once again, 4 Goodyear Racing Eagles, 2 cans Sunoco fuel.
Grigsby in as well.
Derek Grigsby coming in as well. James Watson giving us the play-by-play here from inside the race car. There is your race leader.
I'm calling both races.
James able to give us the inside information because he can hear the drivers calling out when they're going to pit over the in-sim chat, letting the other drivers know, please don't run me over. No Punterino, please. It's going to put Nick Lockard back to the front of the field. Over Wendell Elliott, Cody Henderson, and James Watson. Those top 4 cars all running nose to tail. Taylor Toller going to be right at the back of that line. First car to have made a stop is going to be Toller as Nick Lockard makes his way down pit road.
Ooh, he waited late for that. That was a little sketchy. They didn't give us a signal till he was already on the apron. That was I was feared for my life.
What's the etiquette there? Should you call that down the back straightaway, or is that one of those deals where, yeah, you call it and you go, box, as you make the hard left-hand turn onto pit road?
Yeah, it's definitely good for the strategy because those around you can't follow you in, but it's very risky because those behind you can, well, follow you into the rear of your car. So, as you can imagine, that wouldn't be good for anyone. Repeat of the Quinn House situation a few years ago, right here in Texas.
James Watson on the pit road now. Crew around up to the right-hand side. Already done, down around to the left. Cody Henderson making his way down pit road. Watson down and away, 14:62, the time of the stop. Quickest stop time so far appears to be 14:35 for Mike Aiello. Cody Henderson on the pit lane to the attention of the 710 crew. Same thing, going to be 4 tires and fuel. Henderson down and away, 14:97. Wendell Elliott has put just about everybody a lap down here that has come in to make the stop. Show you the gaps up here on the screen. All the way up to 5th place, Mike Aiello is 1 lap down. Aiello just back behind that number 4 machine, but he's going to come around to unlap himself pretty darn quickly here. Derek Grigsby now also coming around Wendell Elliott. Working lap number 89. Pit window opened up at lap number 71. A majority of drivers taking stops between lap 79 and lap 82. Nick Lockard stopping at lap 86. Cody Henderson Henderson at 86. Lockard was at 84. James Watson at lap number 85. Wendell Elliott's last lap, 31.84 seconds. Cody Henderson's last lap, 29.81. As Taylor Toller makes his way down the pit lane. Darrell Rector coming around to put himself back on the lead lap. Rector running in the 6th position, as is Evan Kelsey in the 0-2. It looks like whatever the fuel save strategy that Wendell Elliott has committed to, he is absolutely sticking to at this point. I would imagine there, James, that it becomes one of those deals that it can be tough to run your own race when you see everybody else starting to play the strategy games around you.
Yeah, he's got to hope he can. I'm not entirely sure what his end game is going to be. I hope it works out for him because he is losing monumental amounts of time.
Let's go on board here with Wendell Elliott. He is in full shutdown mode. on the entry to the corners, saving as much fuel as he possibly can. Never really gets to full throttle down the straightaway either.
Garrett Velzy coming down pit road now.
Garrett Velzy going to be your third place car. Making his way into the pit area. Lap number 94. Stage number 2 will end at lap 100. And it'll be a 51 lap shootout to the finish here. Velzy slides into his pit box. .6 seconds on the time of the stop for Taylor Toller just a couple of laps ago, but Taylor now being scored 2 laps down as Velzy gets back out onto the racetrack. Pick up the tightest battle on the racetrack here. Going to be Evan Kelsey and Darrell Rector fighting for the 6th position. Now the strategy game is going to be coming into play here. We know that some of these drivers are in a position where they can make their final stop. Wendell Elliott and Alan Martin, running first and second, still have not made their next to last pit stop of the evening. Rector might have gotten it up into the outside safer barrier on the exit of turn number 4. Cody Henderson joining that party as well as they get off to turn number 3. Henderson going to come charging around on the high side. Henderson with only about 5 lap newer tires than Rector and Kelsey, but Alan Martin going to make his way down the pit road now into his box. .35 seconds. Time of the stop for Alan Martin. He's going to be down and away, but scored in the 10th position. All the cars that stopped in the lap 80s time frame, running anywhere from high 30-second laps to low 31-second laps. Last lap time for Wendell Elliott, 32.31 seconds. Definitely going to be losing a lot of time here to Derek Grigsby. So Wendell Elliott going to win the stage and head straight for pit road. Race leader Wendell Elliott is pit side. Pick up the stop here as he will come to the attention of the Metrolina Karts Performance Sim Sport team. That Ford Mustang has been pretty darn good throughout this race. Already back to the 4th position, now back to the 8th position. We actually could see Wendell Elliott be in danger of going a lap down here. Crew completing the service on the left-hand side of the car. He's down and away. 14.8 seconds, a little bit slow on the stop as well. And here comes Derek Grigsby, your race leader. Alan Martin going to come past.
Oh, car in the grass, Rector. He is in the grass.
Trouble for Darrell Rector. We'll get you the Hot Shoe Raceware instant replay here momentarily, but here comes Derek Grigsby to potentially put Wendell Elliott a lap down. The stop for Elliott at lap 101 only going to get him to lap 145 by our count. So he is going to have to go into some pretty crazy fuel saving mode here if he's going to try to make it the rest of the way without stopping. Get you the Hot Shoe Raceware instant replay here on Darrell Rector. Bounced it off the safer barrier on the exit of 4. A little bit of landscaping down the front straightaway. Back in it without lifting. However, Darrell Rector having to come down pit lane.
Yeah, I'd imagine in that backup car right now.
Wendell Elliott, you can hear him. He's back to shutting that car off at the entrance to turn number 3. So I would safely assume the strategy call at this point is Wendell Elliott is going to go to the finish without stopping. I would imagine, though, that potentially it has the potential to be really good, and it has the potential to completely blow up in his face here as well.
Yeah, you know, oftentimes when you're doing a big fuel strat, you have to kind of look at what you need to be able to make it work and go, just because I can doesn't mean I should. Because I've had it before where I've done a big fuel strategy and made it work, but I ended up losing positions in the process where if I would have just pitted and taken my lumps, I might have finished higher.
James Watson giving us that insight as he looks inside of Cody Henderson, battling for the 4th position.
How's that? Philosophizing while going side by side at 180 miles an hour.
New word to add to your dictionary, philosophizing.
Damn it. Hi.
Henderson able to get the door closed on Watson. He will hold on to that 4th position. Looks like Darrell Rector is back on the racetrack. Going to be scored a couple of laps down here, as is Taylor Toller running in the 10th position. So all the way back to 9th place, Wendell Elliott still on the lead lap. As we pick up race leader Derek Grigsby. Slide back in the pack, pick up James Watson and Cody Henderson. They're going to continue battling side by side. Down there in front of Big Hoss, one of the world's largest television screens here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Because everything is bigger in Texas. Watson able to complete the pass on Henderson. Back things up a little bit here. Pick up Alan Martin and Garrett Velzy. This is the battle for the 7th position. So we work lap number 112, just over 1 hour in. If this race stays green, which it very well could, we could actually see a 151 lap race at the Texas Motor Speedway conclude in under 90 minutes. This race
Unreal.
this race is flying by. Pick up James Watson and Cody Henderson. Taylor Toller splitting the difference of those two race cars. I would imagine having Toller there not a big help to Cody Henderson. Toller does have one win this season as a rookie. You see the gaps up there on your screen. That is the gap to the race leader for each of those cars. We can show you the intervals as well. Numbers in yellow mean they are pretty close. Any numbers that you would see in red means they are very close to the car in front of them. And we are not seeing any red numbers up on the board right now. Taylor Toller coming around James Watson. That's going to reset the battle between Watson and Cody Henderson. Let's give you a full field rundown here. Derek Grigsby has had a very, very fast car all night long. He's up 6 spots from the drop of the green flag in the Jazz Solo, number 42.
Lockard in.
I say, yeah, we'll hold off on the through the field here as we pick up Nicholas Lockard. Stops here at lap number 117 will get you to the end of the race. What becomes interesting still is, can Wendell Elliott make it to the end of this race? Seeing James Watson and Derek Grigsby also on the pit lane now for their final stops of the evening. We'll pick up Grigsby in that Jazz Solo machine into the attention of his crew. Right side's already down off the jack. James Watson overshoots his box just a hair. Backs it up, gets it squared away, but that's going to cost him about a half second or so. Down and away is Derek Grigsby. And James, knowing somebody is trying the undercut and fuel save, does that change what you may do as a driver to try to counteract that in some way?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone knows how big of an advantage that is. You cannot afford to give that to someone you're racing, because oftentimes that's the difference between a race win and second place, is just one lap earlier of pitting.
Cody Henderson down and away. A little bit of a slow stop there. May have been a damage repair. 16.03 seconds. Almost everybody has made their final stops, except for Mike Aiello, Evan Kelsey, possibly Taylor Toller. Give you the update on track conditions, courtesy of our friends at the Weather Center. Offensively accurate weather for eastern Pennsylvania. As race leader Mike Aiello going to make his way down the pit road. Temperature still at 68 degrees. Wind out of the south now at 11 miles an hour. Partly cloudy skies, 71-degree track temperature. Still a lot of grip to be found out there.
Any chance of the win I had is completely and utterly gone. Trying to get around the lead lap car of Alan Martin was not successful.
We don't even have the ability to replay that one, unfortunately. Mike Aiello down and away, 14:63, his pit stop time. Taylor Toller just getting into his box. Here comes Alan Martin and Garrett Velzy down the back straightaway. So let's go back to trying to give you the full field rundown here. Alan Martin is your race leader in the 05 Landshark Chevrolet Camaro. Possibly a little bit of damage there on the right front of that machine. We'll have to keep an eye on that one throughout the rest of the race. Garrett Velzy runs in the second position. Up 10 spots to be your hard charger. And almost 15 seconds ahead of Nick Lockard, who's going to have Derek Grigsby all over his spoiler. Elliott coming down pit road. So Wendell Elliott not able to stretch the fuel. There are your race leaders, Alan Martin and Garrett Velzy. Alan Martin's only done 28 and change laps on this stint.
Velzy in.
Alan Martin also going to make his way down the pit road this time. Wendell Elliott has gone a lap down, an additional lap down to the race leaders. Down and away goes Alan Martin. He is going to rejoin in the 7th position, and that stop's going to promote Nick Lockard to the race lead, but he's going to have Derek Grigsby all over his rear bumper. This fight is for position. Alan Martin, the first car, 1 lap down. In the middle of that battle is we're down to 20 laps to go here, and everybody else in the field spaced out pretty significantly here. Here comes Grigsby down to the inside. Martin slams the door on corner entry. Going to take a lot of the air off the front of that number 42. Grigsby does a nice job of holding that car up to the outside. A little bit of a slide on corner exit. That's going to let Lockard open the gap back up. And stopping at lap 116, he is going to have plenty of fuel to go to the end of this one. Lockard's still going to be able to hold off Grigsby, but he slides a little bit high off the exit of turn number 2. Grigsby going to be right there. Big dive down to the inside of the racetrack into 3. Grigsby holds the white line. Lockard running about 2.5 car widths off the bottom of the racetrack. They will stay side by side in that battle across the line. 13 thousandths at the line that time by. Grigsby gets a much better run into turn number 1, but Lockard's going to keep that number 10 wound up to the outside. Almost making a little bit of contact on the exit of the corner. Lockard all over the bumper, the 42 on the entrance to 3. Grigsby able to open up the gap now. Call it a half second over Nicholas Lockard. Grigsby took the pole position. Actually, that was Mike Aiello that took the pole position tonight. But Grigsby qualifying back in the 7th position has made up 6 spots to lead this race with 15 to go. Mike Aiello closing in on Cody Henderson. I'll tell you what here, James. I am a little bit stumped on the strategy call for Wendell Elliott.
Yeah, that backfired massively.
Basically spent a ton of time fuel saving. It's what you talked about. Are you going to give up too much in the process of saving the fuel that it makes the savings irrelevant? Take a look at the battle for the race lead once again as Derek Grigsby trying to hold off Wendell Elliott. Well, trying to put Elliott a lap down, quite frankly. Elliott running in the 9th position. Taylor Toller, the only other car 1 lap down. Nicholas Lockard not going quietly into that good night as they will see the 10 to go signal. Grigsby about half a tenth faster than Nick Lockard that last time by. 10 to go here at Texas and 10 to go in the High Slide Cup Series championship season for 2021 Season 2. Greg Holt, the first champion of the series, joined tonight by Wendell Elliott. Entering tonight's race with a 20-point lead over Alan Martin with only 12 cars in the show. That makes the lead insurmountable. And Wendell Elliott, a rookie in the High Slide Cup Series, will be your 2021 Season 2 champion. Congratulations to Wendell Elliott and the entire Performance Sim Sport team. But still a lot to be settled here as we get down to the end of this one. Slide back in the pack here. Pick up the fight with Alan Martin. I can speak, I promise. And Garrett Velzy. That battle down to a third of a second in the fight for the 7th position as the battle for the lead has opened up to about 6/10 here. So far, the only car going to be one lap down will be 11th place running Darrell Rector. 11 of the 12 starters still on the racetrack. Peter Hodgson, the first car to go out of this race. As we're down to 5 to go in this High Slide Cup Series season. And Derek Grigsby doing the work here this evening. Martin and Velzy continue to battle off of turn number 2. Martin, big dive down to the inside into 3. Call that one half a bumper at the line. What a duel here between Garrett Velzy and Alan Martin. Down to 3 to go for race leader Derek Grigsby. In fact, it'll be a couple of popsicle sticks out at the start-finish line. 2 to go for Grigsby in what may be the fastest race in the history of the High Slide Cup Series. 1 caution flag tonight. That was for the end of stage number 1. Shouldn't say anything yet because they do have the green-white checkered available, but it won't be needed tonight. White flag is out. 1 lap to go for the number 42 Jazz Solo Chevrolet Camaro of Derek Grigsby. The lead 1.3 seconds over Nicholas Lockard. Great shot of your champion Wendell Elliott making his way around and off of turn number 4. Checkered flag will fly this time. Derek Grigsby picks up the win at Texas. Nicholas Lockard going to come home in the second position. Mike Aiello will round out your podium, and there's a look at the champ. Wendell Elliott, the Metrolina Karts Performance Sim Sport Ford Mustang, will claim his first High Slide Cup Series championship. Race winner going to burn him down on the front straightaway. Let's get you the final race results here this evening. Derek Grigsby, your race winner by 1 full second over Nick Lockard. Mike Aiello coming home in the third position. Cody Henderson, Evan Kelsey complete the top 5. James Watson, Garrett Velzy, and Alan Martin back through 8th place. All those cars finishing on the lead lap here this evening. First car 1 lap down going to be Wendell Elliott in the number 9. Taylor Toller, Darrell Rector all finishing the race within a couple of laps of the leader. Peter Hodgson, unfortunately, having an early issue, having to get out of this race. He will come home in the 12th position here this evening. Should have 4 Victory Lane interviews lined up for you here this evening. And we will start those Victory Lane interviews off with our third place finisher here this evening, Mr. Mike Aiello. And Mike, congratulations on a pretty good top 3 podium finish here. Probably hoping for a little bit more out of that number 74 tonight, though.
Well, yeah, I messed up early in the race and tapped the wall, come in the lead on lap 10 or 11. So I had to pit early, just take fast repair. That set me back. Started 7th after the stage break and did well, except it came down to a game of strategy, and looked like Wendell was trying to do it on one pit stop. He made it to lap 102 before he had to do his pit after the hard stage break. And so by doing that, I sort of guessed that he was trying to make it the whole way on one more fuel run. So I decided to stay out as long as I could, and I stayed out 5 laps longer than the front 2 there, and knew I'd be a second or so, giving up a second or so on them, and that's exactly what I did. Those 5 laps was 5 seconds, and I finished 5 seconds behind them. So pretty much a calculated risk on my part that didn't pay off this week.
Yeah, sometimes you're just going to have those when you get those long green flag races, and pretty impressive that you guys managed to get 151 laps in 1 hour and 23 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much caution-free except for the stage break. So that's the type of racing that I enjoy, because all sorts of strategies come into play. It comes into how good you are at conserving your tires, how good you are at running fast, how good you are at making your pit stops, and you're going to have several green flag pit stops to make. So, all those strategies come in, and then you have to pick what lap you're coming in, because if you come in the same lap as the leader, or the guy that's in front of you, you have no strategic advantage. So what you try and do is you try and come in a lap or two before the guy in front of you, so you pick up that extra second or two on him and not give it up in the long run on the tire. So all that goes into your mind when you're running these races, and then someone like Wendell, you see trying to stretch it out, and he could have made it to the end. The question was, would it really have worked? And he would have been 3 seconds slower than us there at the end, and I just couldn't see that happening, but I waited a touch too long. But 74 was 74 Bay Racing, racemlr.com. Toyota was really fast tonight, sat on the pole you saw, ran up front all night, and very pleased with third place running with you guys.
Well, brother, thank you very much. We appreciate you hanging out with us here tonight, and hopefully we get to see you run a full season next year as well.
Yeah, I hope so too. That's what I'm looking forward to, trying to feel out what it's like in these first two races, the last two races here, which are the first two for me, running with the guys, good, clean racing, and that's what I enjoy. Where I finish is where I finish, as long as everybody's good, clean, hard racers. So I really enjoy the group of guys that are here so far, and look forward to it.
Well, thank you much, sir. We appreciate it, and let's pick up our runner-up finisher here, Mr. Nick Lockard. And tell you what, Nick, been a couple of weeks since we've had a chance to talk to you here, but the number 10 Tide Ride looked pretty darn good out there tonight.
Yes, it was. We definitely had some fun. We had a very fast car today. It's unfortunate. I think I burned the tires up a little bit there on that last run, but, man, that was fun racing side by side there for the lead.
Yeah, you guys put a heck of a battle on over the last handful of laps or so. Ultimately, Derek able to open up a 1 second gap on you, but that may have been at least a little bit of self-preservation at the end. No real sense racing for it if you know the tires are going to be already shot anyway.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that I was first on pit road, and I kind of forced everyone, so I knew I was kind of behind the 8 ball, so to speak. I had the longest laps on my tires, and so I also had, going into that pit stop, that final one, I think it was almost 2.5 seconds, I had to make up to catch him, and so I just gave it everything I had, and unfortunately the tires just weren't there at the very end.
Well, it was a heck of a run for you here tonight. Congratulations on a very good season in the High Slide Cup Series. Making it into the playoffs, and looking forward to talking to you again next season. But let's make sure we get all the sponsor plugs and thank yous taken care of here too.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it. First off, thank you all for the broadcast you do, and always enjoyed it. I'd like to thank Garrett and everyone for putting on the league itself. I'd like to thank our primary sponsors, Lockard.it. Check them out for any cybersecurity computer issues you might have, along with Pay to Win. So hopefully we'll have another league season coming up. I'll definitely want to participate in it. Definitely enjoyed it. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you very much, Nick. We appreciate it. And let's bring our race winner in here, Mr. Derek Grigsby. And I'll tell you what, Derek, that number 42 Jazz Solo Cup tonight was absolutely spectacular, as we're going to get the viewers at home a chance to watch you burn them down here in Victory Lane.
Yeah, it was pretty fast. I found something in that first stage that I really liked in turn 1 and 2, and it just seemed to help me save my tires on long runs.
Yeah, the car seemed to be really good, and Nick made mention of the fact that he felt like he burned off his tires a little bit, plus the fact that he stopped a little bit earlier than everybody else. Was any of that going through your head in that late race battle, that you kind of knew you just had to stay right there with him, and he was eventually going to fall off more than you did?
Oh, yeah. Me and several guys had talked during the race, and if you got stuck on that high line, it just killed your tires. And so once I got to him, I knew I just had to get under him and stay there. Felt like a few times I could have passed him, but I kind of stayed there just to help him burn some of that rubber off for later in the run.
Well, congratulations on a spectacular win here to close out the High Slide Cup Series season, and hopefully we get to talk to you again. You're going to be running with us again next season.
Oh, yeah. I'll be back. Can't get rid of me that easy.
Sounds good, brother. Well, and before we let you go here, make sure you get all the plugs and thank yous and all that fun stuff in here too.
Yeah, I want to want to give a shout out to Garrett, who puts on the league, a lot of work into it, and I got a lot of fans that don't exist, so I want to give them a shout out, and I got sponsors that don't exist either. And then my final shout out will be to my fan club president, Peter Hodgson, who unfortunately had to drop out of the race tonight early.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you very much, Derek.
Thank you.
Congratulations once again. Looking forward to talking to you. But we got one more guy we got to talk to here, and that is your series champion, Mr. Wendell Elliott, in the Metrolina Karts number 4 for Performance Sim Sport. I tell you what here, Wendell, the race tonight might not have gone the way you wanted it to, but you had the championship wrapped up heading into tonight. All in all, just a spectacular season. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I really didn't realize it was wrapped up as of tonight. I knew the last race was tonight, but I didn't know that the championship points was, was already wrapped up. But anyway, I really appreciate Garrett putting on the league. Yeah, I was doing the fuel saving game and just wasn't going where I was having to save too much. And when I seen Derek and them come back around, it was running me back down. I just went ahead and pitted and just took my losses.
Yeah, you know what? Every champion has a race or two like that over the course of the season, and you were no exception to that. But ultimately, it really was one of those deals where you had a lot of team help. The entire Performance Sim Sport group was very, very good this season.
Yeah, it was. And I appreciate, everybody on the team over there. I know this is a fixed league, but we do work hard on the open setups as well. I hadn't been around much lately, been busy working and stuff, but I really appreciate everybody over there. Greg, Joshua, Will, all those guys.
Well, thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you coming in to check out with us. Hopefully you're back to defend your championship next season. And who would you like to thank?
Thank Greg. All the guys on the team, and just Garrett for putting on the league, and all the guys that do the race admins and all that. Done a good job this year. Maybe we get some more people in here next year. A little bit bigger field. Thank my wife for letting me do this on Sunday nights. That's about it. I appreciate y'all for putting on the broadcast. Enjoyed it.
Well, thank you much, sir. We appreciate it. And yeah, we enjoyed these as well. And with that, we're going to wrap up our coverage here for the High Slide Cup Series season. They're going to be taking a little bit of time off. Not too terribly much, though, here. And then we'll be back to racing action in just a few weeks or so. With that, let's bring in James Watson here. Tell you what, James, for a first time commentating while driving, nice job on the commentary while coming home with a 6th place finish.
Yeah, I think I actually did a better job commenting on races than I am just actually watching the race itself.
Yeah, it's one of those that it's a unique perspective, that's for sure. Trying to concentrate on something that it's hard enough to concentrate on a broadcast for 90 minutes or so, but this one was a whole lot of fun tonight, so thank you very much for that. And let's get your sponsor plugs in as well.
Well, I'd like to thank the main sponsor, the sponsor that put on the race. You were able to clearly see, and our National Racing Network. Thanks ZAS Designs as well for making that paint scheme. Got to thank Martin Sports, recently coming on for the team and getting us some good deals on some merchandise and maybe some unique merchandise here in the pipeline.
Very cool. Well, hey, thank you very much, brother. We appreciate everything you did for us this season as well. That one was a lot of fun to cover this season. And with that, we're going to wrap things up here. Coming up tomorrow night will be week number 12, final week of the season for the Silver Crown cars. Going to follow it up on Tuesday night with one of our final single header nights on a Tuesday. massive block of programming coming up for 2021 Season 3. We'll tell you about that one on our social channels over the next couple of weeks. But the sprint cars will wrap up their season on Tuesday night. Wednesday, it'll be the High Side Hustle with Burt Wojcik and Adam Rubright. Thursday night, the Indy Pro 2000 Championship wraps up with a visit to the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Friday night, real-world racing action from Linda's Speedway out there in Jonestown, Pennsylvania. But until tomorrow night, in the Silver Crowns for James Watson, camera design by Connor Baldwin. Fantastic job as always, Mr. Baldwin. Thank you very much. My name is Chris Graham. It's been a pleasure to have you hanging out with us tonight. We will talk to you soon. Have a good night, everybody.